You have to feel your feelings. We were given feelings for a reason. If God did not want us to feel, we would not feel. Hey, it's Jessica. If you don't know me, this is my page, Root and Rise, Life After Loss. I lost my daughter Layla last year, and now we just talk about faith and grief and just life. Today, I want to talk about something that's really dear to my heart, but like mental health. Because I've been someone who has struggled with my mental health even before my daughter passed away. But it definitely brought back up some anxiety and depression after she passed. I feel like I've always been someone who has been prone to seasonal depression, probably because I have a vitamin D deficiency anyway. So definitely, if you are someone who struggles with seasonal depression, please get your vitamin D tested. I had my vitamin D tested maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, and I was severely deficient. And apparently, women are more prone to being deficient in vitamin D. So this is not medical advice, but this is definitely a good suggestion if you're someone who struggles with depression symptoms. But so I had a bit of depression spur right after Layla passed away, but Layla's twin sister got sick almost a month later, so I didn't have time to sit in that depression. But as I approached my second year of my daughter passing and we're in the holiday seasons, I definitely feel some depression coming up. And I kind of, the first time that I got on medication for my depression, I was 21 years old. So I'm 29 now, so that was 8 years ago. And I was on Lexapro. I was on Lexapro 10 milligrams. And it was even difficult for me to do that. Like I actually had gotten to a point to where I had almost a mental break, and I ended up in a psych hospital. But that's how I ended up on the Lexapro. Long story. Maybe I'll go into it in another video. Maybe I won't. But at the time, I had struggled with my mental health since I was a teenager. I could honestly say that I had probably struggled with like anxiety and depression since middle school. But I came from a household to where no one talked about those things. Like no one talked about being anxious. No one talked about having depression symptoms. I have speculated a lot that my mom has some depression. Definitely had some symptoms of depression that I saw growing up, but that nobody talked about. And I don't know if no one talked about it because no one had ever talked about it and my parents just weren't educated on it, or if it was just one of those taboo things, don't talk about it in the Black community. Something that is very uncommon that I've seen in Black families is that mental health is not something that's taken seriously, that you need to be strong, or you need to just do what you got to do to get through it, or you need to pray it away. And I do believe that in the power of prayer, but I also believe in the power of science. And I wholeheartedly believe that God would not have given us modern medicine if he did not want us to utilize that. So I will always be someone who advocates for, if you need help, reach out. Because I felt a lot of shame when I went through the process of being on a medication. But I had literally spent my whole life feeling like I couldn't speak how I felt, and feeling like how I was feeling was just because I wasn't mentally strong enough. I think that there's a lot of people who suffer in silence because they do not feel safe to speak out, and because there's still such a stigma in the Black community about mental health. I know that I was definitely somebody who did not feel safe enough to speak up until I was in a point to where I was ready to not be here anymore. And that's a really hard place to be when you feel like you are fighting for your life and you're still drowning. And I remember after I started the Alexa Pro, like I remember the first time that I felt normal. And it really brought me to tears because I had suffered so long trying to struggle through this. I had fought for so long trying to just make it through this on my own that I felt so sorry for myself for not seeking help sooner, because it changed my life. And it's wholeheartedly the reason that I am still here and able to talk to you guys. A lot of people don't understand that you can have chemical imbalances in your brain, that the serotonin receptors can be off. You know, there's no There's nothing wrong with getting help. Like, we get help for physical symptoms. If you have a broken leg, you're going to the doctor to get treated. We treat the physical body like it can have ailments, but we don't treat our minds like it can have ailments. A lot of people are carrying around trauma, are carrying around childhood wounds that were created because they were silenced. A lot of grew up in homes where you were a child and you stayed in a child's place. That was forced submission. That was forced submission, and that we were taught that our voices did not matter, that your feelings did not matter. Oh, I mean, because I definitely heard, "Stop crying before I give you something to cry about." I feel like sometimes, especially things that are passed down, generational traumas, people don't recognize how much of an effect that has, because honestly, the things that you learn in childhood, like, they don't disappear when you become a adult. They become the foundation of who you are. Now because you were never given proper avenues to feel, you are now a adult who cannot regulate your emotions. And that was me. I spent so much of my life trying not to feel that it overwhelmed me. Trying to pretend that I was stronger than what I was overwhelmed me. Like, it didn't make me stronger. If anything, it made me more broken. Because here's the thing, when you hold things in, they don't ever stay in. And what happens most of the time is that it's going to come out in a way that is uncontrolled and unhealthy. You have to feel your feelings. We were given feelings for a reason. If God did not want us to feel, we would not feel. A lot of people aren't comfortable feeling those not feel good emotions like anger, frustration, sadness, because they feel like feeling these things is bad. But those are honestly natural emotions, and they are natural ways to cope with situations. I wholeheartedly wish that I had someone who told me, "Hey, it is okay to not be okay. You don't have to be strong all the time." I prayed over my depression, and I pray over my depression all the time. I do. But I also know that God gave us medicine for a reason. So if I need medication, I'm going to take the medication, and I'm going to enjoy my life and be happy. I no longer let that shame be the reason why I suffer in silence. And honestly, I've been on and off of the Lexapro for the last 8 years, for almost a year and a half. I had real bad seasonal depression last year, and I pushed through it. But I decided this year that we're not going to push through it this year. We're going to go ahead and get on the Lexapro, make it through the winter season, and then we'll just reassess. I'm in a place where I can have those conversations with myself and feel no shame about it. Like, I literally text my doctor and I was like, "Hey, can I get a script?" And she sent a script. To me, it's always better to be proactive than reactive. And I've been living with anxiety and depression for so long that I am able to know what it looks like for me. And then I know what it feels like when I feel like things are getting a little bit tougher. I have managed to pick up other alternative coping mechanisms during these 8 years of caring for my mental health. So, like, writing, exercise, being outside, artistic outlets like drawing, clay, painting. But I do feel like my grief has added another layer to my depression, because it's hard losing a child. And then it's hard losing a child during this time of year. Because this time of year is about being with your family and being together and spending time together, and it's hard when I know that my family will never be complete again. My kids were decorating the Christmas tree yesterday, and I have a little ornament that has Layla, that's my daughter, that has Layla's face on it. And, and so Layla was a twin. So her twin is 2 years old. So something that we do is we make sure that her twin knows who she is. But It's very hard for me because as someone who has someone who had twins, I'm constantly reminded that I should have two kids here. That I should have two of everything. That I should be able to do it with two of them. So in some ways, it's very bittersweet for me because I'm constantly reminded that I'm missing something. I can say that my grief has made me a lot more grateful during this time of year. I'm so grateful for the little things. Layla's twin, she was so excited about the Christmas tree. She was like, Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. And it literally made me slow down and just thank God, like, thank you, God, for this moment. Because Layla's twin had a heart transplant. Layla passed in April of 2024. And then her twin Ava had a heart transplant September 12th of 2024. So we really did go through a period of life where we thought that we were going to bury two children. But I thank God every single day that I did not bury two children. I am forever heartbroken that I had to bury one child, but I know that my story could have been something completely different. Like, I know that even though Layla's death was tragic, that God was still a redeemer, and he turned what caused pain into something that caused gratitude. And for that, I will forever be grateful. This time of year is definitely heavier. This time of year definitely feels heavier on my mental health and my depression. And I don't, like I said, I don't feel no shame about getting help. I spent so many years suffering in silence that I just refuse to do it again because of pride. So if you're someone who is struggling with your mental health this season because you're grieving or just because life is hard, it is okay to ask for help. You can't smoke it away, drink it away, eat it away, sex it away. Prayer works, but sometimes you can't pray that depression away either. Sometimes the answer to that prayer is seeking professional help. If you are someone who is really struggling with this, like I really encourage you to seek help. Seeking help was the best thing that I ever did. It really changed the trajectory of my life, and it made it possible for me to be here today. Things do get better, and it's okay to seek help. All right, well, thanks for sitting with me. I post videos 3 times a week. I'm aiming for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but y'all, a girl been struggling. If you like this video, subscribe so you can see the next one, and also give me a like. And if you are someone who also has mental health issues, let me know your story in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you guys later. Bye.